Have you ever wondered who the best straight from high school to the pros basketball player is? Well, this story starts years before Kobe and KG were even born. Let us take you back to the summer of 1974. In the small town of Petersburg, Virginia, a rail-thin 6'11", 217-pound center had just finished his high school career, dominating every single game he played in. It became clear he was not, shall we say, studious, and after one of the most ridiculously illegal college recruitment wars ever, the ABA had the foresight to draft this phenom and convince him to take the cash immediately. This is the story of Moses Malone, and Malone's career is still the gold standard for anyone jumping directly from high school to the pros. But we can't start here. We have to go back further in time to the summer of love, 1967. Flower power was all the rage, and an upstart professional basketball league was formed with hopes of one day merging with the NBA. Their ball was red, white, and blue. They had a three-point line, took advanced stats, and most importantly, had no draft restrictions. You see, back then, the NBA would not draft a player until his college class had graduated. Not only that, but they had an option clause, effectively relegating a player to his original team forever. Along came Oscar Robertson, the Hall of Fame guard who averaged a triple-double for several seasons. He filed a suit against the NBA, demanding they lift all these restrictions, and also a block of a proposed NBA-ABA merger. As long as the ABA was around, players had the threat of bolting to the upstart league, thereby increasing players' negotiating leverage. The NBA, relenting to the pressure from the ABA and the Oscar Robertson suit, decided to have a double-secret probationary supplemental draft on December 30th, 1975 for the 5 ABA players whose college classes had not yet graduated. The Jazz pick first, and they take Moses Malone, a surefire NBA All-Star. They are forced to give up their 76 first-round pick, but since they traded that away already, they gave up their 77 first-round pick instead. So heading into the 76 season, the Jazz could have had a healthy Pete Maravich and a monster in the middle with Malone. But wait, the courts finally settled the Oscar Robertson suit in the summer of 1976, paving the way for a merger between the two leagues. As part of the agreement, which almost crippled the 4 ABA teams joining the NBA, those 5 players in that double-secret probationary supplemental draft were allowed to re-enter the dispersal draft. Poor New Orleans only got their 77 first-round pick back as compensation for losing Moses. And they promptly lost that pick again when they signed Gail Goodrich, as mandated by the commissioner's office. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Moses Malone. In his 2 seasons in the ABA, he proved he was on his way to a stellar, dominant career in the post. Upon entering the ABA dispersal draft, the Portland Trail Blazers selected him 5th. Being tight-fisted with the money and not sure he'd fit in, they promptly traded him to Buffalo. Because Buffalo later became the Clippers, they traded him for 2 first-round picks. In Houston, he quickly emerged as one of the best centers of all time, with crazy rebounding and scoring numbers. Remember, this is the golden age of the NBA, when the influx of ABA talent made the league as good as it had ever been. But Moses could not carry the Rockets to the promised land, so he signed as a free agent with the 76ers, who had been on the verge of a championship but lacked a force inside to compete with Boston and Los Angeles. The Sixers' playoff run spawned Moses' famous faux prediction, which then became faux 5-0 as they defeated the Lakers in a sweep. In the end, when you look at his accomplishments stacked up to the other players who made the jump from high school, there is very little doubt that his career has surpassed that of any of his peers. While Kobe's numbers might be a little better, you can't overlook what Moses Malone did in what was arguably the greatest period of professional basketball, right after the ABA and NBA merged. His dominance against so many quality big men shows you why he legitimately deserves the title of best player ever to jump from high school to the pros.